taking off to face your fears. A quest to find what's really real inside. Fight for what isn't right. Never underestimate the power that's inside. Silence will not save.
3, 2, 1. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's the Black Astronaut Experience. We're here for the 3rd episode. Man, I'm so excited about what's about to happen because this is a lot of years in the making. The last 2 episodes are dope, but this is just, not to compare it, but this is fly. I'm not gonna lie, having y'all here right now. Like, this is a lot of history, and y'all checking this out right now. I appreciate y'all for being here. As you know, we're doing the Black Astronaut Experience, which is an event going down on 11/11, which would be for our brother, Drew, 10 years since his transition. And we're just coming together in a powerful way to highlight his light and also where we are today and where we're trying to go. So doing this podcast has been really therapeutic in a lot of ways. And I hope people are checking this stuff out because we are examples of Drew. We are all reflections of his light, showing that he is still with us and his light is still making a difference in the day, every day. Having these gentlemen here today is just, it means the world. So a little bit more, 11/11, Black Astronaut Experience is going down in Union, New Jersey. Please purchase your tickets. It should say the Black Astronaut Experience somewhere down there. Check that out. Please pass that on to friends. This is a very important event. This would be a mix of, if you're familiar with Rooted Conversation, if you're familiar with Tiffany B of Living Intentional, you know the vibes that we create. And this is something we're coming together to do that I believe is just going to be very special and something you don't want to miss as it relates to where we're going and obviously paying homage to our brother. So check that out, theblackastronaut.com, going down 11/11. So let's get to the show. I got peoples here. I got 3 peoples here. Before I introduce y'all, give the people a little bit of the idea why this is happening. This is Drew's college family that became all of us family, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. The last episode was about the Goonies. That was high school vibes. And now we're going into Drew's college vibes and becoming a man vibes. So this group here represents that in a great way. So I let these guys introduce themselves one by one, and then we can get into the vibe.
All right, so the Goonies was the high school group, so we was definitely Silver's 176.
176.
Silver's 176.
Got a lot of good memories in there, but my name is Rich, Rutgers University. I met all 3 of these individuals in my college experience. I met Maul through Drew and Andy and Chris just from Davidson days, and we just been tight since then.
My name is Chris. I met Drew through Andy. Andy is from New Brunswick, so am I. Andy met both Drew and Rich on move-in day in Davidson dorms. And I was fortunate enough to kind of get adopted into that circle.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm Andy Anderson now. But back then I was Andy. And I met Drew. He was one of the first people, I met at Rutgers. Rich, Chris, been my homie for forever. And, it was chemistry right away, friendship that lasts forever.
That's what. Oh, you still going? My bad.
No.
Okay, that's what I want to know, because more about how y'all met. Like, how did that? Tell me more about that story. Like in depth. Like, how did y'all become from like y'all just met to like, all right, we hanging, like we cool.
Drew lived exactly across the hall from my freshman room, I guess, or dorm. So we always just had that. When we first moved in, automatically just started talking to him. His mom moved in. My mom moved me in. So we just started connecting there. But I know Drew and Andy used to party.
Yeah.
And then
Rich was like, I want to party too.
I think listen, I had a girl. The first semester. I had a girl.
That
so
when you had the nose ring or no?
Nah, that came later. Stop skipping steps, all right? But then I had a girl the first semester, so I ain't really hang too much. I was too busy going back to East Orange, going to see her, trying to be a good boyfriend. And then second semester is when I got corrupted by I definitely got corrupted by Andy and Drew and Chris. And then that's where it kind of like I just started really hanging with them. And then we came close. And then after that, we decided to live together going into our second year. and it just kept on from there.
Yeah, no, it was definitely people with similar interests.
Yeah.
You know, we like music. We like to go out.
Yeah.
We like to have fun. You know, we was interested in the opposite sex, all of us, a lot, you know, and over time, you know, like Rich mentioned, we started at the freshman dorms, but then we went into living together in apartments. Yeah, man, we started to grow and started realizing it was more than just those things, man. It was this, you know, we all had drives, you know, we all kind of were more than just, you know, fun, you know, fun times. And we were fortunate to grow together because it wasn't just friends. You go home, you know, everybody see you tomorrow. No, this was 24/7, you know. So it was a lot of long nights, early mornings, and sometimes no sleep at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because see, now how I met y'all was like, I remember, because I don't think I was at Morgan at that time. And I remember he was talking about y'all. It was like, yo, we got to meet my friends and all this, some cool peoples and stuff like that. And I remember he said he got some cats from, he said some poppies from New Brunswick. He said some poppies from New Brunswick. And I remember, I think it was like Rutgers Fest or something like that. It was some big field thing y'all used to have.
Yeah.
And I remember that was the first time I met y'all. I think I met Andy first.
Yeah.
You had cornrows. I remember that. And I remember it was just like, yo. I remember, it was just like, it was almost like once I stepped in, it was like we was in motion.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, we going. We all know what's the vibe. We all out here. Like, I know this my brother. Y'all, it's all good. We all fam. And it's been just cool seeing, like, you know, how that friendship from afar. Like, that's the thing I wanted to share with y'all. Like, it was cool for me. You know, I grew up with him, but then to see someone, like, it's almost like once high school is over, you separate. Like, that's when, and then you come back and you see like changes, they growing, you see their crowd, like how that affects them and the principles and stuff like that. So it was always like dope for me to just like come through. It was also a learning experience too, and y'all were always nice to me too. I always meant, like, we had parties.
Okay. You were bigger than us.
For real.
No, but we
needed a center.
It was a good time, man. I always remember, like, I was a little nervous at first. I was like, I don't know, man. It's the new friends, and you know, college is kind of crazy. But I just remember it was always like just dope. I remember getting like really, really drunk with y'all too. Like, do you remember that one time we was in the I can't remember what party this was, but like we were freestyling in the room, and we had that Absolute, and we were just drinking that to the head.
Oh my God!
It was like we was all in there. I think you was somewhere else though. I
probably dipped off somewhere.
Yeah, we was freestyling, and that was like and that's the night that he broke his leg.
I do remember that. I do remember that, his ankle.
He broke. Yeah.
But I caught up with y'all afterwards. Yeah, because it was a student center party, and then I was doing bruh stuff, and then I linked back up with y'all on the way there outside the student center, and then he started hopping. And he twisted. You remember he twisted his And I remember that night, but I wasn't freestyling with y'all. Yeah, that was before. That's why he probably broke his ankle.
Yeah, that was the night I woke up in the hospital. It was both of us got hurt that night, but it was also like a very special night that I'll never forget. One thing that I wanted to ask y'all, like, and y'all can, you know, whoever wants to take the floor in this, but like, there's certain friends of Drew, and I don't, this means no disrespect, because Drew knew a lot of people, but like people closer to him, when I see them, I see parts of him in them. Mm-hmm. I can just feel it, like, you know what I mean? So I wanted to ask y'all, like, what parts of Drew do you think you keep with you in terms of how you're moving forward in life today? Because, like, yeah, that's pretty much the question.
I think my uncle, who spent most of his life in and out of jail, if he gave me anything, it was this one piece of advice. You don't really know another man until you throw money and women into the equation. And I think me and Andy already had that understanding. I think Drew coming in and Rich also kind of understanding that it's not, you don't even have to really talk about being in the place in those type of situations. You just already know what respect looks like. We made money together. Andy put us on when he was working for the Democrats. Not to get political by any means, but he just, you know, Andy kind of set the tone. Like, if I could get my homies a check, I'm gonna get my homies a check. You know, women we already had, you know, passed that test amongst each other, right? And what it looks like, what respect looks like amongst each other. Next was money, and then you fast forward to y'all's senior year when Drew needed a job, and I put him on at TGI Fridays, and now he's waiting tables at TGI Fridays. You know, it's like we all understood that we had that bond, and you can't really teach those things to other men. You know, it's just kind of you just either brought up with it and you push through, or you just don't have it. And I think because we all had that commonality of respect, everything else was easy. You know? So I think when you see that hustle, that integrity in us, yeah, Drew kind of was the
he was that torch bearer.
He was a torch bearer, exactly. But we all had that in us, you know. He was just the star that, you know, kind of shone the brightest.
You know, it's crazy, and I don't know if I've ever expressed this to y'all three in this room or to Drew. Like growing up in a household of women, I never really had that like male like figure, or just the sense of like brotherhood in terms of like kind of like, all right, this is how you carry yourself, you know, when you outside of the house and things of that nature. But as I hung around y'all more, and then the bond became more, and then living with one another, and I kind of credit it to Davidson, because Davidson was the rejects, everybody who did housing late. But because Davidson was one floor, it was like everybody just was together. You know what I mean? You had one side and then the other side, and then you had the middle, you know, I guess the area in which everybody had a common area. Seeing how everybody interacted there, and then just seeing who I can gravitate to, really started to grow me as a man. And then as we just lived together in Silvers for, I don't even know, it felt like forever, but like four years, seeing how y'all operated, it was just really special, and just something I never had as a kid until I got to college, to see like men and living with them, and, you know, going out with them, eating together. Like we did everything together, from skipping classes to going to classes to going to the dining hall every day,
sneaking into parties,
going to the
trips,
city,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As we got older and started to have money and stuff, we was able to do certain things that we wasn't able to do before. But y'all affected my life and who I am now in such a great like proportion that I don't even think y'all realize. I don't think y'all ever realized that, but I just want y'all to know that. And I never was able to tell Drew, and I know how everybody talk about giving somebody their flowers while they're still alive. And that's cool, but Drew, along with you three gentlemen, y'all taught me a lot, and y'all made me into a person that I am today. So I appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you,
likewise,
bro.
man.
100%.
Yeah. No, for me, it was really just how mentally strong he was, and at such an early age, like, you know, at the surface, you see, you know, what people want to do, and you see them dancing, or you see them potentially with a clothing line or whatever, but nobody sees the work that he put in, staying till 3, 4, 5 a.m. He used to call it in the lab. I'm in the lab right now.
Shout out to Ish too, by the way.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. For real. And like, you know, watching him do those things, it was weird because a few months ago I saw the Yeezus documentary, and I saw, you know, how Kanye, you know, had you, like, so many people gonna deny you, so many people gonna tell you no, so many people gonna put you in a box. There was no box that could contain him.
Right.
He wanted to do clothing. He wanted to rap. He wanted to dance. He would, you know, whatever he wanted to do,
Right.
he was capable of doing it. And even if he couldn't, he would tell himself that he could. And then guess what? He did.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, especially now, you know, that's like such a powerful thing to hold on to, because you always gonna have a lot of naysayers out there. You always gonna have a lot of people that, you know, gonna hate. You know, but it takes you to, you know, fortify your mind. That astronaut suit, right?
Let's
Put
go.
that
Let's
suit
go.
on,
Let's do that.
you know, you got to put that mental suit on,
Yeah.
you know, and block all that stuff out.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
As a Man Thinketh, you know, that
As
was
a Man
one.
Thinketh,
That was
James
he
Allen.
That book.
He put me onto that book.
Yep.
Yeah.
That little short read, and I think he lived it before he read the book. He just needed to read the book,
Get the words.
to really like
Yeah.
understand, like, oh, I got this, you know. And you know, it's unfortunate that we lost him young, but I saw that to all the way until the end. You know, I saw that drive, that tenacity, that just can't nobody tell me nothing. You know, and for someone who didn't have the, I guess outwardly didn't look like everyone else. Didn't have the looks, or he wasn't the tallest, or wasn't the most built. You know, he had everything else that you can't teach. I think that's what put him ahead of everybody else in any room that he walked in. He's like, damn, I don't got what he got, you know. And
but
I knew,
figure out a way.
I mean, Rich, I'm sure Andy, but like, I'm confident as they come. But when it came to Drew just had a different type of confidence. That
And listen,
I think that's what you see when you talk about. I see a little bit of Drew in us. It's just that.
And his motivation and everything that he was self-teaching himself was before social media, before we really had avenues to where, okay, I'm gonna just type it in the search bar and figure this thing out or watch videos on it. He was like a pioneer and like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna figure it out. Like, okay, I want to make clothes. All right, I'm gonna go to the dry cleaning lady. She's gonna put together these epaulets on the shoulder and X, Y, and Z. Okay, then he started to be like, all right, I don't need to go there. How can I do it in mass quantities? Then how can I promote it?
How can I get it on BET?
Exactly.
One of these BET rappers. What was it?
Oh wow, 106 and Park.
106 and Park.
Oh my God, Dude Major,
Dude
Major, the singer dude. Yeah,
that was my first time ever seeing product placement from somebody I knew. I'd never seen something on TV before that I know this homie that made that or did that or does that.
Yeah.
I saw the homie on 106th and Park, a show that we all used to watch, right, at that time.
100%.
And then seeing I just saw this shirt 3 days ago on your bed where you wanted to put, and now it's made, and now you got it on homie on 106th and Park, and he's doing a freestyle right now wearing it. It was just like, oh, okay, so this is the hustle and the muscle. You know, and then you see the success.
It wasn't no direct messaging. It was, he was going to New York and going to talk to these people face to face. You know what I mean? On the grind, like really getting to it.
That's probably what bugs me the most a little bit, you know, every now and then is like, where the hell would he have been now?
Yeah.
I can't fathom where his mind would have took him now. I can't fathom. Because he was doing that then. He was just so wise beyond his years. And that goes to, you know, to his family.
His mom and
his mom was such a
catalyst.
Yeah, such a, you know, just poised, just knowledgeable, you know, kind of receiver and giver of information.
When you speak to her, you can tell that's exactly
you
who
knew
he
that
got it
before
from.
you even met her. Though. Like when you look at Drew, before I even knew who his mom or his dad, what that situation, like, oh, he got real ones at home. You know, he got real ones that like brought him up right. You know, showed him the right way. Like Drew was, like from an educational standpoint. I mean, he went to high school with you, right? You guys went to St. Benedict's, right? That's not an easy school to kind of get into. It's like a good prep school. Then he goes on to Rutgers, but he still was hood, right? He was hood adjacent, right? He was hood adjacent.
and was ready to fight.
And was ready to fight.
That's the funniest part about him, yo. His fighting spirit would come out of nowhere, like, yo, chill, bro.
It was the dream.
He wouldn't hurt a fly, though, right?
Right. That's what
but he was an underdog.
He was an underdog,
You know what
right? But he knew enough not to go down that road to like kind of have that balance, and I think that's part of his magnetism is the fact that he balanced both worlds.
There's when I was up on my way up here, I was thinking about like what to talk about in this conversation, and one thing really stuck to me was something I said at the funeral, and I always remember it. And I said, if you met him, it must have been an assignment. Given, you know, and just taking this from a very spiritual perspective of time and everything happening for a reason, and like, you know, all the powerful things we're saying about him, it makes me, obviously I feel the same way 100%, but it also makes me feel just how like special we must be, that someone got an opportunity to be in this realm and for whatever reason it connected. You know what I mean? There's so many people that couldn't have met him, that wouldn't have met him. So many people didn't meet him. You know what I mean? And for us to all have like inside information, like to see it. Because a lot of stuff, especially on Instagram, everything is all list, but you don't get to see, like you're saying, behind the scenes. So to be able to witness all that and to be still, I think, and that's kind of like what I'm really curious about, because I mean, y'all know I'm connected to y'all for real, but like I haven't hung out with y'all like that. I'm just kind of like getting a fast forward of everything, and I'm seeing like all the great things, like from seeing your new business venture to you being married, Chris being in New York. I don't got updates, but I know something's going on, right? Like, that just that makes me feel like, yo, I'm so curious about how they walk with Drew, because I know for myself, like this book, Black Astronaut, it's Drew. Like before all this happened, I was already in that mind state. Like I look at everything I do and I say, wow, he was able to do it. So if I just work at this and do some of this, like what would Drew do? What would, what I mean? Like what would make him happy? What would make him proud? With some people like, yo, you did that, bro. Like for traveling, that was me and Drew. I didn't know how to handle the grief, so I left. I dropped everything. Like I was like, I can't help nobody if I can't help myself. So I just went. And in my mind, that was me and Drew traveling the world. Every place I went, that was me and Drew. And I didn't make that an announcement for everybody to know because it was personal. So I think like that's kind of what I'm curious about. Not that we're on the same way of looking at things, but like, is there something in terms of your relationship with him that you look at how you're going and you're like where you're going and things you've created, like decisions you've made, like
Projection.
Successes you've done, like how does that connect to who y'all are today?
I would say just personally for me, being the man that I am now, getting to the point where you're married and you have kids and things of that nature, like I wouldn't say I got that from Drew because we was too young at that point. We was just really wanting to run the streets and be as successful as we can. I think I've reached levels of success that I do give credit to Drew. His picture hangs in my apartment it's there. And it's been there since he passed away. And when certain things happen, I talk to him and I talk to my mother. My mother recently passed as well. But it's just those two people that, no longer here, that you still feel their presence. You still feel like they listening, that every once in a while they might visit you. I love to see him in my dreams and stuff. That's how I know he's saying like, yo, I like what you're doing.
Wow.
He see me now married, and he had that connection with Ish. Respect to Ish. You already, we know who she is, and we know the type of impact she had on his life.
100%.
So it's like being a husband, being a partner, being a dad. Giving those experiences that Drew gave to me, that you guys gave to me, and giving it to my son, it's something that I always look at and I'll be like, I didn't have it growing up, so now that I can give it to somebody else and give it to a man eventually, it's just like, I know Drew, like, that's how you do it.
That's
What I mean? Like, because I know if he had the opportunity to have a wife or have kids, he would be that same model. He would want to give the same knowledge, pass it down. So you just bringing on other people. When I coach now, I give it to kids as well. It's not just keeping it to my son. It's like, no, I got a 25, 13-year-olds that's going to go to high school, hopefully go to college, going to be men in this society, that you want them to have the right male figure that brought them up or showed them something along their way.
Yeah, no, I like that you mentioned what you mentioned about grief, because I never really fully, I guess got it out or whatever. Just moments, me and Chris, we probably cried together, but I had my little hiatus as well, and it was more from social media. Like when he, passed, I kind of lost, that kind of feeling to be out there. I didn't want to project, I guess, pain or put myself out there like that, because if you ever saw any of us out there, that was not what we projected.
Exactly, yeah.
We always projected energy, positive energy, strength,
exactly.
happiness. That was the best thing about him, that whenever you was around him, it was like osmosis.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That
100%.
vibe.
Yeah, 100%.
Boom. And just all the way back when social media, when it started when we was freshmen. So what we would do was you had to have an EDU, right? And first week or so, on the side of your profile, you put the classes you attended, right? Biology 101, Chem 101, Africana Studies, whatever. Me and him would go to the first day of class. We sit in the back, you know, and then we go kind of like that. I like that. We go back to the dorm. And then we click on that class and find her and say, hey, we wasn't in class today. Do you mind sharing some notes? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Visionaries. Visionaries.
Yeah.
So
that's before Facebook.
That was Facebook. That's when it first started.
That's how Facebook first started. So that's how, you know, we used to use it. And I used to be very involved in social media then. Social media is different now. So I was involved in Facebook then, and we kind of made ourselves like little, almost, you know, celebrities, whatever, on campus or whatnot. But when he passed, I lost a lot of that desire to kind of share those things with people. And it was dealing with grief. You know, I was dealing with that for a while. And to this day, I still am not really on there like that. But what is different with social media than what we're doing right now is this connection that you build when you look somebody in the eye. When you shake their hand. You know, when not you see their emotion, but you feel their emotion. Like sometimes you sit next to somebody and you feel the depression, or you feel the excitement, or you feel that. You don't get that from social media. So you know, those things and the way he impacted people when he saw you, touched you, when you were in the same room around as him, is something that that, you know, I try to carry. You know, I try to instill in everything I do, and I try to do that with other people, you know, give them that, you know, one-on-one, look them in the eye and let them know that, hey, you got my undivided attention right now. You know what I mean?
So really being in the moment, like present.
Being in the moment, man.
I feel that.
Being in the moment. Very well said.
I feel that. 100%.
To touch on like what we talked about before we turned the cameras and the mics on about being intentional. One of the last times I was with Drew, probably I think it was the last time I got to see him, was right after one of his treatments. He was, you know, once Drew got sick, he lost quite a bit of weight, but I think his personality, his ability and the strength to keep and maintain the personality and that good energy allowed us to like look past it. And we kind of thought, well, maybe this is better for him. He's a little lighter, you know, maybe he'll be eating better. We never thought that he would leave us, right? So I want to say it was around September, about 3 months before he passed away. He comes into the city, comes to my apartment to come check me. He wanted to show me some samples that he had just got back from China. And I had a relationship with a showroom in the city called 24 Carat Showroom that housed, you know, quite a few streetwear brands at the time. Him and Busy already had made the relationship with the showroom when they were out in Vegas for the trade show, but he wanted me to kind of see the samples before he went and like kind of fought for the deal at the showroom. Brings him into my apartment, we start going through them, and you know, the array of the collection was really nice. He already had done a photo shoot from a lot of the pieces, but I was just like, Drew, listen, it looks good, but like send these samples back, tweak them a little better, you know, fix the hardware, make it look good. Like you only get one shot when you go to these showrooms to look good. If they see that you're off, or you look like you still got a little bit of way to go, or you're trying to find your bearings. It's not like today where someone would take a chance on you. Back then, you kind of had to be sturdy and like solidified and you had to have the rolling rack, you had to have the nice hangers, the collection, the tags, everything had to look official if you wanted to really pitch your collection to these showrooms. And I told him, I was like, yo, Drew, just like wait, you know, send it back. And he, you know, he packed his stuff up and I could tell he was like, even though he still was in good spirits, he left like a little disappointed. But I just wanted to make sure that he did it right. About a week or two later, I find out that he went to the showroom anyway. And I reached out to him like, yo, you know, like, you should have waited. And he's like, I can't wait. And I didn't know what he meant. And I was like, I can't wait. And I think that's when it really set in about like, he knows, like or he just doesn't. I've had not once that it during his whole,
his deal with cancer.
His deal with his plight with cancer. Did I think that he was? I thought he was always going to be around.
I don't think any of us thought.
But
he knew, and he still was pushing to get this because it was no longer about him. It was about the bros that he had coming on the road with him. It was about like, you know, his legacy with his mom and what he wanted to have set up for her. And when he said, yo, I can't wait, I was like, I was at a loss for words, you know. And I think him still pushing till the very end, you know, we're way too blessed to be feeling any type of stress or devaluement or, you know, should have these chips on our shoulders because we still wake up to a breath every morning, you know, and
Definitely.
Blessings all around us. So really there's no excuse for you not to kind of put your best foot forward and live for your purpose. So that's the biggest lesson I got from Drew, and I'm super, super thankful for it. As sad as it was and as much of a reality as it was at the moment, I don't want to hear it. I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, that's real. I think all of us can relate to all of our answers on this topic, especially the dealing with the grief and even understanding what that is supposed to feel or look like. You know what I mean? Like, because I connect a lot with what you said about, like, I don't even know if I've, like, what's the level of dealing with it? Like, what does that really mean? You know what I mean? Like, some emotions I think are too deep to even put in your brain to be able to, like, explain to someone or even to yourself. You don't even know. You know what I mean? Which I think is some of what was happening from Drew's perspective in terms of, I can't wait. I know he didn't understand the levels of all that was on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but to stay strong and keep rolling. And I feel like in our own ways, that's kind of what we're doing.
Sticking to the script.
We're just staying strong and keep rolling. None of us are perfect, for sure. But it's like, I'm just so thankful that we had such a, you know, an awesome friend that really laid a groundwork for, like, some very, very important years that we don't get back. You know what I mean? Like, those years are so formative. Like, even like learning from a scientific standpoint, how your brain declines at a certain age, like that's your development. You know what I mean? So I'm just so thankful to have those moments. And even this right here is just, like, me and Tiff were talking about this, like, we don't want to compare nobody to nobody, but the fact that this is happening for someone 10 years later, that's not common. Like, this isn't common practice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that just shows how special his light is. And I think that's one thing that I want all of us to just remember, is to just, and I know we know this, but just as a reminder, especially who may be listening, like, his light is with us, like 100%, like, it's still rolling. And the beautiful thing is we still creating. We still got stuff we didn't know what we're going to do next and what we're going to put our hearts into and what we're going to, like, and I just know the fact that he's a part of our root, you know what I mean? Like, that just lets me know that he's still, you know, it's not the way we would like it to be, for sure, but it's definitely, we got something special. I definitely believe that. One question that comes to me, because this makes me think a lot about those years of that molding. If you could go back in time, so what you learned now in life, and you can talk to the person, let's say freshman year of college, like, what, and you had a conversation with yourself, what would you have said in terms of some advice moving forward? Be honest.
I try not to regret much. You know, I don't think I've ever done anything that was, like, super malicious or harmful that I want to go back and fix. Man,
it's real. Take your time. It's no.
Yeah. Invest in Tesla and Apple.
Bitcoin.
IG before IG became
I met someone that invested in Google in the beginning.
Yeah.
He don't do nothing.
Yeah.
He don't do nothing.
Yeah.
He is set, bro. Like, it's, yeah. Keep going. Sorry.
That's why I would do it, because I would be set. Just smile more, be patient, stay blessed, and that's it. You know, say sorry ask for forgiveness when you need to, forgive when you need to. And that's it.
Now, for me, that's pretty easy. For me, that's just do more, and by do more, I don't mean, you know, achieve more, but allow yourself to do more. Like, ever since, you know, high school with this guy, and he would always, let's go out. 30 minutes before it's time to go, I'm tired, bro.
I'm about to take it down.
I'm about to take it down. You know what I mean? And even you guys, you know, y'all went on a few trips without me. Y'all went to Miami without me.
Yeah.
I think y'all went to
Vegas
without me. Y'all went mad places without me. And I was sitting here trying to save.
We got one though. We got Coachella.
Yeah,
We got
yeah.
Coachella. I was gonna
Yeah.
bring it up. That was lit.
Yeah, Coachella was 2014. I was just reminiscing the other day.
That pool party.
Oh man.
Oh, man.
Y'all
I don't even remember the
Y'all
pool
want to
party.
leave the Airbnb, bro. Y'all
Yeah.
wanted to
Yeah.
have the hang
Working on the back. You remember
on the pool. I'm
Mo
like,
had
yo,
the ropes.
I'm like, yo, we missing. We missing.
He was
working out.
Yo, y'all had a tire in the driveway. I'm like, yo, y'all getting swole for these little bras out here, bro.
Listen.
Missing all the acts.
Oh.
All the good
Yeah, we
music.
didn't know how to do it. We didn't know how to do it. Yeah, we didn't know. We was just,
Yeah.
Nah, I would definitely do Coachella again just cause you got to.
yeah.
Cause that first roundabout, yeah, it wasn't done properly. But back to
Yeah, I
your
was doing MTV Cribs, walking around. Hey, this is the balcony, y'all.
yes sir,
You know?
yes sir.
I remember
But
the wings,
back
all
to-
the weed we had, because
Oh,
weed
man.
was like new. I remember y'all was like, "You sure we can drive with this?"
Listen.
Because y'all came to LA
Yes,
first,
right.
and then we
We
stopped
drove
at
down.
this-
Yeah.
Went to CVS. CVS had the Hennessy bottles for like $30. $30 Hennessy bottles went nuts. But back to the question that you asked, I think if I could tell myself one thing going back, I would say just stepping outside of my box a little bit more. I think I created what I liked, and I didn't take enough time to just step out of there and just figure out, you know what I mean? All right, even if you don't like it, at least you experienced it. And then if you experience something that you never, thought that you would and you liked it, at least you can add that to your catalog, you know? So
You're like that now, though. You've embraced it now, but
yeah.
Yeah, no lie. I seen a lot of growth in you, man.
Yeah. A lot of people want to see this.
You're just more free spirited, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And he changed all of us, you know what I mean? He changed all of us. You know, we all move different, we all talk different, think different.
I shoot my shot a lot more than I would have ever, because seeing someone who doesn't look like they could shoot a shot, like when I met Drew, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm stating a fact, right? When we first met Drew, and they're like, yeah, we about to go to the student center to go see Drew dance. I'm like, this nigga dance? And then here we go, and I'm like, yo, he danced. And yo, we about to go to Livy and ball. I'm like, yo, this nigga play ball, basketball,
And he ball.
and he ball.
Yeah.
So I'm
That-
like,
that's
all right,
just-
you can't put him in any
Yeah.
type of category. You can't sleep on him. And and then you see him around women, not just women that he had relationships with, but women that he was friends with. He was just like, I was like, damn, bro, like there's so many things that he has that I can't even learn. Like I don't know if I could even learn to have those characteristics. Yeah, bro, it's just he's done so much for me, and I'm thankful for him. I think about him every day. I thought about him on the way here as I almost missed the train. I knew that he held that door open for me so that I could get here on time. I think about him, quite often, and I don't think I'll ever stop. For someone who I had a relationship with for how long was like 10 years, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
2013,
A little less,
a
yeah.
little less, 9 years. For the rest of my life, bro.
100%. Man, I'm just thinking about all of the moments I shared. This actually is really enlightening for me in a lot of ways, because because again, like I didn't spend as much time with y'all as a group, so this is like actually like showing me more about the connection y'all had. Like I know it was real, 100%, but like this is just dope to feel, and I think that's something in terms of my grieving process that I think helps, like being around people that really knew him and really like know what I'm feeling. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes it's just like you don't get it. Like you just don't understand what that is. You know what I mean? So I think that gives me like a different kind of comfort. I would say a comfort in knowing I'm not alone with this. And like Tiff was saying, like us doing this event was kind of just randomly came about, but it's been, to me, just some stuff like this just makes it like it's already a success. Like I mean, like it's not even, it's just, this is what it's all about. Like this, and I think that's what Drew's life really taught me was just like kind of like being in present, and like the fact that you really don't know. You don't know how many moments you got with somebody. You don't know how many moments you got. You know what I mean? Like for real. And that's something that be on my mind. Like I be thinking like I gotta do this, gotta do that. But I gotta be peaceful too at the same time. I don't push myself crazy. But it's like we all know like you just never know what can happen. So I appreciate y'all coming together in this way, in this topic. One of the things that, you know, as we talk about this Black astronaut concept, and I'm happy y'all understood what it meant, because I didn't know. It's like it's a little abstract, but y'all really get it. Like it is about like just standing up for yourself. All the examples that we've shown, and I truly do believe like you guys are real examples of what it means to be a Black astronaut. And I think the whole point is like your individuality. And like even this rain right now, like to me, I feel like this is a vibe. I don't know, like that shit is like some spiritual shit to me. It just started like storming out of nowhere like that.
Listen, that thunder is Drew getting on Chris. Drew talking to him.
I slept on when I first met him. I slept. I'm like, yo, he dance, bro.
He could ball.
I
remember going to Bush with him and ball. And I'm like, all right, bro, you got it.
Yeah. And the crazy thing was Drew wasn't that good in the beginning. That's probably honestly like
like a little Paul Pierce kind of game where like, yo, you made that, bro.
That Kyle Lowry.
How you make that? Like Kyle Lowry. Yeah, like how you
Drew
make
got
that,
nice. Bro? He wasn't nice in high school. It wasn't there. Like he wanted it, but it didn't translate. And I remember every time I would see him like year after year, he'd get nicer. I'm like, how is he getting better?
He was practicing somewhere.
I've never seen someone like after high school get better. Like he like legit. If he was playing like that in high school, he would have made the team. But you know, it's all cool. So you know, I just really appreciate this conversation. Any like thoughts or things y'all want to leave on the floor? Like, because the thing that I also think is dope that this is 10 years, and who knows what the next 10 years is going to be like. I feel like there's going to be a moment where we 10 years from now can look at this video and be like, yo, what the, you know what I mean? Like, so is there a message that like just something, it could be anything. I don't even care. Like it could be to yourself. It could be the vibe. It can be just what's on your heart right now, this experience right now, or just something, because I do think laying some type of information out 10 years from now, I think might be really powerful. I really do.
I think his words, the mannerisms, I know we carry those every day. Like it be certain words that I'll say, and people exactly
the two fingers,
and it be people that I'm with, and they be like, "Bro, what are you talking about?" And I be like, "You know what, my fault. Like you had to be there to really get it, to really understand like how funny it was. Like Drew was hilarious to me. Like he was a comedy. Like he was just comedy all the time. Like no matter if he was in a bad mood, serious, joking, whatever. Like he'll make you laugh. And laugh and laugh and laugh, and you'd be like, bro, like I'll go back to my room and be like, yo, what's the matter with that dude? Like, we did things freshman year that was unmatched, like unmatched. We did smack DVDs.
What?
Around Davidson. Like we stole, not stole. Well, it's 10 years, so they can't bring it back. Like we stole his roommate car.
Oh, okay. Oh wow.
We stole his roommate car, drove around Bush. And was just, I don't even know what we was doing.
Wait, is this roommate? Is this the white boy?
Yeah, the white Drew. White Drew. I remember even mesquining his door with ketchup and mustard. We did so many things freshman year, and it just carried over to where we had tattoo parties.
Yeah. Oh wow, I never got to go. I remember those. Had
tattoo parties in Silvers.
Chaos. Shout out to Chaos. New Brunswick.
Crazy times. To sneaking into parties and doing like trips afterwards. Like it just kept growing and growing and growing. And when he passed away, it took it away a little bit, that momentum, but I still see it with Dre and Busy and that collective when he started to transition with that group of guys. Like he had his high school, college, and then the college turned into professionalism and stuff like that. And you can see it in all his groups, how those mannerisms and his words and the jokes and everything still carry on. And then when you put all of us in the room together, we all have that common thread to where we just automatically connect because of that one person.
100%.
And I feel like 10 years from now, it'll still be like that. Yeah. And our own trajectories would just bring more to that table.
Yeah.
It's the copy and paste family, right?
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you brought some of that up again, because I was struggling Labor Day. I was having a conversation with someone who was challenging kind of the things that I do and being that I got a 2-year-old daughter and how, you know, I got a full-time job, got the business, got all that. And oh, you got to slow down and you got to too much stress and this and that. And even a little bit earlier, I was saying, you know, it's crazy to think, you know, where Drew would be now. It's crazy to think where I would be now if I never met him, you know? But having met him, and you hear what everything everybody's saying, he lived his life and did everything. He didn't take no minute for granted.
Right.
You know, he pursued something, was interested by it, worked on it, and that wasn't just it. He just kind of just grew in so many different ways and continued to grow and would study it and would learn. And he didn't ball, now he balls. He didn't draw, now he draws. He didn't do clothing, now he does clothing. He didn't rap, now he did everything, you know. And he didn't take time for granted, man. He didn't have limitations. He didn't allow people to keep him in that box, you know. And you know, full circle, right? Tiff, you know, I don't know where she at, but living intentionally.
Right.
Living with purpose, you know, living with, you know, a goal and not wasting time.
Right.
You know, and yeah, man, I definitely don't take time for granted, like, you know, like I think most people who haven't lost somebody or who haven't won, you know, like the saying goes, right? I'm gonna jack it up, but, you know, is it better to have, you know, had and lost or never to have had it all, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I'm glad I met him. You know, 100%. I wouldn't be here.
100%.
I think, no offense to, you know, any of my fraternity brothers over here, but I think, or out there, I love y'all. But I think it says a lot that Drew didn't join, you know? He was the most self-assured. I know who I am. I don't need any of that. I know where I'm going. And to be in an apartment, 2-bedroom, 2 roommates in one, 2 roommates in another, and one's a Q and one's a Kappa, and still not want to join, right? What's he do instead? He puts on your gold boots. He takes your cane.
Wait. The bros, I did not allow this to happen. I did not authorize him doing these things.
No shirt on.
But we had some good times.
Shorts.
With the cut
He was hopping and shimmying.
Not because he didn't respect, you know, the roots of the fraternity, but because he knew who he was, right? And he knew that because y'all was his brothers, he could do that. But I think that made me even like understand him more. Understand like, nah, you don't need nothing. You could just do it all on your own. You don't need friends, connections.
And Drew was the one that brought me into the fold when it came to being a Q. He was the one that introduced me to the bros. Like, he was that guy for me. So it's crazy that when he stepped aside from the whole process, it showed me something about myself. I was like, you know what? Even though I started this journey because my man put me on, I'm gonna finish this out even without him. And I think even him seeing me cross, he was proud to see that. Of course. You know what I mean? Like, nah, that's what's up, bro. Like, now I get to wear your gold boots and do all the crazy stuff in the apartment, and you know what I mean? And listen, he was cool with all the bros, everybody on campus. Sororities. Like nobody had anything bad to say. If you said something bad about Drew,
something wrong with you.
It was more about you than it was about Drew.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? He was that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Nice. There's one I appreciate y'all for coming through. This is very heartfelt, and I hope that like my vibe is always just keep it here. So, but I hope the people listening, y'all getting something from this, like just like in terms of the dealing with grief, dealing with like becoming a man, then becoming a man on top of that man, you know, like the levels keep coming and coming. And, you know, I think finding peace in the journey is the thing that for some reason is on my heart as we close this up. Like for some reason, when I'm looking out this window right now, this rain, like y'all know Forrest Gump, like y'all seen Forrest Gump, right? Remember the part with the dude with no legs when he was
Lieutenant Diane.
Swimming Lieutenant Dan.
Swimming.
Yo, but when he was like fighting with God,
Yeah.
and he did the ship scene, and he was like, he just went at God, and they had that fight, and then the next day he finally found peace, and he was swimming.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's like what, at least for me, where I'm hoping to go with all this, like with the grief and the finding myself and like trying to, you know, continue to grow and create and do stuff and all that good, cool stuff. But like, there's a balance to that, you know what I mean? And the reality of life and the weight of life is real. And I feel like I had a real good conversation with the Uber driver today, and he started talking randomly about he lost his cousin a couple days ago, and he was talking about his grieving process on the way here. And one thing he kept saying was like, man, I'm just trying to keep the peace, man. I'm trying to keep the peace, trying to keep the peace. And when I feel the energy in this room, and I know people can definitely relate to this if you lost someone close to you, it's difficult to navigate those waters. And I would just hope for myself, and I hope this for everybody else, it's just like trying to continue to keep the light and like continue to like figure out a way to create peace from that storm. You know what I mean? Like whatever that need to be, whatever you need to fight, whatever you need to face, whatever you need to just let it out the cage or whatever that is, like in a constructive way, you know, like I think sometimes you need to like break through certain walls to get to the other side of that rain.
Amen.
And that peace. You know what I mean? And I know that's where I'm at in terms of the things I'm learning from these conversations and preparing for the Black Astronaut event. And like you were just saying, like when we all get in the room together, I can't imagine on the 11/11. Like just standing in the room is going to be like, yo,
Yeah.
like, yo, like this room right here. Like, I don't even know what that looks like. Like
Yeah.
I got goosebumps right now just thinking about it. So we're going to wrap up the show. But like, again, thank you guys for
Thank
coming
you.
through.
Yeah, thank you.
I love you
Yeah,
guys.
thank you, man.
Like, we're going to do another trip, maybe Coachella,
I'll
Vegas,
do-
whatever we got to do, yo. We got
I don't think I can do more Vegas.
all right, we're Vegas out of there. We go to Arizona. We go to Arizona, but it's all love. I appreciate everyone here. Everyone check it in. Remember, go to theblackastronaut.com to get tickets to the event that's happening 11/11 in Union, New Jersey. An event from our guy Drew, and just a conversation that's going to be something that's really going to be about our dreams, who we are, where we're going. And similar to some of this, but just a whole different stratosphere. So thank you guys for checking out. Thank you guys for being here. Peace and light, homies.
Yes, sir.
Taking off to face your fears. A quest to find what's really real inside. Fight for what isn't right. Never underestimate the